Good, Karen. Thanks once again to be on your show. Everything's good. Everything's good. We're still in Florida. We're not going to go back to Canada. They're still doing. I just called yesterday, and they're still doing forced quarantines. So I can talk about my discussion with the customs officer later. But yeah, we're going to stay here where your freedoms aren't affected like they are doing back in Canada. Yeah, those aren't laws. Those are recommendations. They're not laws. They're absolutely not laws. I mean, you can talk to all kinds of people and you see everybody saying it. And the other thing on top of that, even if they did make it a law in your country, you still hold your international covenant rights, which trump every constitution on the globe. They all have to meet that. And you can see, I just did a post on Facebook on South Africa, how they've modeled after Canada. I understand the game that Canada plays. I understand the one the US plays. I've done several constitutions, and they all have to comply with the international covenants. So your rights are in there. Everybody's.
Yeah, I just realised that I needed to be on the computer. I was just explaining it to Claudio.
So we got to start over, right?
Twice. So yeah, go back to what you were talking about. So you've done this video about. Can I just say one thing? What people don't realise is, Claudio, is that when they put us in this planademic, a whole new set of rules appear, so you voted in your prime minister or president and that, but people don't realise there's a whole set of laws in. They own the sky, the land, the sea. They own you, your houses right now in this planademic until they change the law back to the one we voted in. So what do you make of that then? So this is how in a planademic you can get any law you want because they can use any law. They can you can just do anything.
Well, it's really, really, really simple. And if you're going to go and spend all kinds of time looking at their laws, then you're going to be wasting a whole lot of time, because the only thing you really need to do is know your constitution and then the international covenants. The international covenants hold your rights. Your rights are.
What about the Magna Carta? Is that a UK thing, the Magna Carta thing that they're bringing up right now? Because that obviously has a lot more different rights in it. Is that the Magna Carta thingy for everybody, or is that just England?
The whole thing is, it doesn't matter what you call anything. There's bills of rights. There's all kinds of documents that they've created to hide the fact. They have to teach you where your rights are per the international covenants. But they're supposed to be talking about the international covenants that were signed by every country so that no more tyranny can happen. Our forefathers and foremothers created this document. They know they cannot breach it. It's all signed by every country. Countries are only corporations. They don't own land. I can show you Supreme Court rulings that show and tell Canada, like every other
what I'm saying is the new rulings mean that they can, not the old rulings, the new ones for this plan.
What I'm trying to tell you, first, I'm going to get back to that. I'm going to tell you where your rights really are. And they cannot abridge those rights unless you let them. See, the United States, when they signed it in 1976, one of the reservations they put on there, these are not self-executing. That's brilliant. That means you are an employee of the United States. You will do as we say, when we say, unless you execute your rights. Because they're not self-executing. When they sign those documents, controlling them, allowing you to either be associated with them or disassociated with them. They still got to provide you with food, healthcare, water, shelter, all that good stuff, because they're robbing your land of all the resources. So they're making money. So there's plenty for them to be made and still take care of everybody, right? So now they are creating laws for you as an employee of Britain, of the UK, of Canada, of the United States, of Germany, of France, Russia and China are the exact same things. They're playing the people to let you think that they're different, but they're not. They too, they don't hide the fact. Russia doesn't hide the fact that you have common law rights. Canada does. United States does. Most of them do.
I know. What we're finding out is everything that they accused that they did to Russia, people don't realise they've done it to us. They've subversed us. They've probably treated us worse than the Russians. But when you work it out, it's the other way around, and Russia looks a better place to live than here.
Right, because they're trying to do the same thing in Russia like they've done here, slowly brainwash the people so they'll never realize that there's common law and you have rights. Those documents are very well known by many people. I've learned and studied them for 6 years, the common law, the ICCPR, International Covenants on Civil and Political Rights, and the International Covenant on International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. In there tells each country, aka corporation, how they must provide for society as a management company so people can get along and live together. So in there is a whole bunch of things. You can choose to be, it's right in there. You have the right to be recognized as a person before the law. What you really got to see there is you have the right to be associated. That person means corporation.
Can I just say, in the new laws, we're down as a commodity. We're a commodity in the planademic rules. A commodity.
Well, it's see, I don't want to get into conspiracies and all that. I don't really care about whether we're a commodity or not. The thing is that gets into the banking laws. When you sign a loan for 100 grand, let's say, the bank gets to multiply it by 23 times. That means they artificially raise their stock prices because they're considering that they're going to make all kinds of money off of you. It breaches contract law. They have to disclose any money they're making off you, and they don't. Okay, and there's several things they do when you sign a mortgage. So basically, they're using your worth and then multiplying it by 23 times and raise their stock. So 100 grand was 2.3 million. You with me? This is how they're playing a Ponzi scheme to be the richest people in the world. So you as a commodity, yes, but it really means nothing more than greedy people using your wealth and your worth to artificially inflate stock market. It's no different than what Chrysler does. Chrysler, when they ship a minivan across the property line, they book it as sold. Whether it goes to a dealer, whether it goes to a customer, which is very few, they usually go to a dealer, or whether it goes in a yard somewhere, they book the profit. They book the profit so they can raise their stock market, so they can, every year, they can get in their pocket, the CEO gets their greedy profit monger pixels, dollars, whatever you want to call them, in their pocket. And then they cause layoffs, cause havoc, cause all kinds of things after they get their money. It's no different than Mars, potato chips. All the stores are filled with chocolate bars. That's inventory. That stuff never moves. They just create more and more and more and more and more grocery stores that house inventory that makes stock go up. So we live in a world where people are just greedy. Everything else is a fantasy. People want to do clickbait and who we are. No. They're just using you as a means for them to get rich. So they've been hiding this since when these international covenants came out. I can show the complete history of news media events and when signed documents happened. They did everything they could, including then come up with a Bill of Rights that does not give you your rights. They're giving you your rights as a citizen, as a corporation, as an employee. When you go to a judge, you go to the HR office, you're not going to bring your common law rights out unless you know how to. But the first thing you got to do is send a document to your parliament, whatever. There's in Canada, it's the Governor General. You got to look to see who the Queen or whoever gave power to whom. You don't get it to, I'm just going to use Canada as an example, but it works for every single country this way. When you send a letter to the Governor General, who's the acting CEO, she has to take care of that. They don't, though. If you do it wrong, they send you a response. If you do it right, they don't send it back to you. They just sit and wait till you go and try to fight it through the court systems that they've brainwashed everybody. But we have all the past case Supreme Court rulings that tell Canada, you're a juristic federal unit. You're a corporation. You're not a landowner. You don't own this land. So they're there. These are just corporations. Canada is traded on the Security Exchange Commission. Why? Why are they listed filing 18Ks? Well, guess where their business address is? Washington, D.C. Their mailing address is Ottawa. Their business address is Washington, D.C. And people will say, well, that's because that's where the embassy is at. Well, yeah, that's where they funnel the money. Back to the UK, back to the supposed queen or whoever. I'm sure they're just puppets that are really rich and don't know why they're rich, and there's somebody behind them. But your rights are in these international covenants. It gets really, really, really simple. And this is the thing that they're trying to hide, because they're signed documents. That means it's signed with karmic attachments. They can't go against it, and they know it. And they full well know it. When I went through the Constitution of South America yesterday or the day before, it's so easy to pick out the game they play. They start off by telling you everything that's in the covenants, that you have your rights and everything, and then in the next line they introduce another person. So first they start off with people, and then they bring in the class citizen. Then they carry citizen all the way through. The citizen is one that's got limited rights. The people, the human being, has all his rights. The international covenants are the supreme law over top of the constitutions. It is the rule of law. It is the color of law. If you're going to win anything in court, you have to know this, and you have to open up. See, Canada's very smart, and they do a lot of crafty things. They've put the Supreme Court now in every courtroom, but every judge doesn't pull it out unless you call for it. And you have to call for it in a certain way. And you got to know your documentation in that myriad of I don't have that. I only have the knowledge. I don't have the experience in a courtroom, but I know people who do. All right, because you got to have the right colored paper and sequence, and then so they got a tight system to keep you as a citizen, as a person before the law, as a corporation, as an employee before the law. That's what they're telling you. So all you got to do is read a couple documents and see a couple things and start getting well versed. I learned from John Spirit. He's done an amazing job showing where everything's at. Canada in Article 26 in their charter says they do not deny that there may be other rights not mentioned in the charter. That's the international covenants. That's their way of saying these are covered under their national covenants. They do the same thing. They start off by saying, here's all your rights, and then they play a shell game with person, everyone, individual, citizen, okay? They play a shell game with names. Why do they drop the word human? They drop the word human so they can play the game with names, making you an employee of their corporation. It's that simple. So everybody needs to put down what they're doing, understand, if you need to understand how to get through a court system, but this is the law. They can't trump it. They can't go against it. There's signed documents that say no country ever could even form without signing these. That's why you see South America just started theirs in late 1900, like 1990, late 1990s, when they got their sign. These profit-monger tyrants are just trying to increase their places where they can store fictitious inventory, where they can sell stuff and continue on their merry way, because the family is getting bigger and everybody wants to be rich. So these things that they're telling you to do are suggestions. But if you don't tell them, no, I fall under common law. And we got to say it to every officer.
So basically, what it was is, Claudio, I went to see my granddaughter today, and she didn't want to come anywhere near me because of the virus. She told me. I was really upset.
No such thing as a virus, but we'll get into that.
I was talking to Marilyn on the phone, like the lady that was just talking to me before we started to hang out. And he thinks that we want to go to 10 Downing Street with a letter saying what this is doing to us, but we have to put it as common rights, as grandmothers with common rights.
Right, common law rights.
Common law rights.
Right.
I mean, that's what they did.
Yeah, in Canada they did a great job of bearing when things were starting to get hot and heavy. When Quebec wanted that separation, they played a field day in the media about voting to separate. Meanwhile, no, these were people that said, no, we want to become sovereign. You guys are freaking criminal tyrants. They hid the whole thing.
Because
they hid it all.
See this, like,
so now it's happening again. It's happening big. Big time. This is the reason why they're pushing the virus and all this stuff, because there's a lot of voices now, like myself, that are pushing the truth about the international covenants that they've all signed. You can't trump it. You cannot. Because once everybody finds out, wait a minute, our foremothers and forefathers signed these documents so you tyrants can never do this again to people and enslave them, because everybody's a slave. Because you don't know where your rights are. We think we own our house. You don't. Even if you paid for it cash. In Canada, they call it absolute title and qualified title. When you sign a document with a lawyer, because every lawyer for Canada, United States, no matter who you are, you're a corporate lawyer. No, I'm not a corporate lawyer, I'm a criminal lawyer. No, you're still a corporate lawyer for the Corporation of Canada or United States or Russia or whatever.
Yeah, and I think you can, if you ask the judge what like they have it's not a saying, but they'll have something that they abide to. If you ask them to read it out, you'll probably find out that the judge in your court can't really sit there because he's a judge from a different area of law. You need to know.
In Canada, you got to walk into a courtroom and say you're seeking the administration of justice. Right then and there, that calls out the common law. Now you have to say, here, the state party Canada, state party means corporation, whether it's Canada or provincial, Ontario, whatever, or the municipality, they're all corporations, they're subsidiary all of Canada, they're all corporations. And you got to tell them that my fundamental human rights and freedoms have been breached in the Constitution. You got to say the Constitution first, okay? Because a judge only knows the Constitution. And then you got to prove to him that the Constitution, the supreme law that governs the Constitution, is the international covenants, which is very easy to do. It's there. It's black and white. And then you got to tell them where they breached their fundamental human rights and freedom per the international covenants, which is pretty easy too. And these judges, a lot of them know it. When big cases, they end up knowing the Supreme Court judges, and they make sure they're friends and buddies with some of the Supreme Court. But they've pushed it all into the courts because they're starting their Hyde routine. They've been starting it 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. They're pushing everything on everybody because they poisoned people with Monsanto food. They did so many bad things that now they get people to own, like they privatize this, privatize that, privatize that. What they're doing is transferring from one corporation of themselves to another to try to limit their liability from what's going to happen, which is now. But people have to realize when you walk into that courtroom, you got to do a good job. Number one, you got to know all your shit to get the right color paper and all whatever that stuff is. Number two is you got to prove to the judge that you're standing under common law. Three, see, we've already put in our notice of claimant and so notice of understanding, claimant recognition in with the Governor General, the Attorney Generals, okay, both province and federal, telling them that we're disassociating. It's like a 11-page document proving to them exactly what I'm telling you. And you're basically disassociating. Because now I want to go, my house is on a, what do you mean my house is not owned by me if I paid cash for it? Not my situation, but I'm just using it as an example. You have a qualified title. They could keep the absolute title. When the real estate lawyer signs the documents, he doesn't even realize he's passing absolute title to be held in stores in the municipality. That allows them the right to trespass on your property. So see how they removed your right? They removed your right, number one, to own property alone, your right to disassociate or associate with whoever you want, your right to pay taxes. It's all there. It's all in there. But they keep removing your rights and they're hiding it because these rich people are enjoying to be rich. And they're doing anything they can to fool you without doing anything to fool you so you don't find out about it. Because their hurrah is over. But we got to stick together and know that that document made us one again. Made every person on this land to remember and signed by every freaking country that we are one again. This is the documents you need to go look at. These are signed. They're ratified. They hold clout, they hold weight, they hold spirit, they hold signature, they hold vibration, whatever you want to call it. Everything else is just them telling, don't go look. So these are suggestions. Now, as far as a virus, there's no such thing as a virus. The top cell experts in the world are telling you they're measuring excretions out of the cell. You're going through a cleanse. The FDA has finally admitted that 95% of what we eat and drink in the United States, which is the same thing in Canada, because all our farmers' fields
Yeah,
are all
95% of
GMO.
what we eat isn't real. It's plastic and got chemicals in it.
It's got Roundup. It's got glyphosate, Monsanto, GMO. Is it no wonder that there's, just in Canada alone, there's a $500 million class action lawsuit against Monsanto. There's class action lawsuits around the world, but they're not putting it on TV. That's why Bayer bought out Monsanto. So the boys club can sell their money, hide it, pull it out of the courts for a while, and now all the lawsuits have headed over to Bayer. The CEO of Bayer stepped down. I wonder why. So the truth is out. We just need to push harder now and stronger. When I called the border yesterday to find out when are you guys opening up the border for back and forth crossing? So for example, a Canadian that wants to come back to Canada, I put it as when I live in Canada and I want to come back to Canada. I didn't say I'm a Canadian because I'm not a Canadian anymore. I'm not a citizen, okay? I'm a human that lives on the land in Canada, right? And people want to fantasize you need taxes for that. No, if you find out how much they're stealing and sending sending over to the UK, you're going to crap your drawers. Our schools and roads will be paved in gold. So there's no such thing as a virus. They're measuring the excretions. They're measuring the toxins that are coming out of your body during a cleanse. I've cleansed, and my wife has cleansed so much in the last, just by changing our food, our diet, and everything else. I've gone through ketosis. What a nightmare that was. That's where all the toxins come out and you feel like you're going to die. Now when I go eat at a restaurant that uses a lot of GMO stuff, which most of them do, and crappy oils, olive oils and stuff like that, or the deep fried, I kind of stay away from that. I phlegm up immediately. And in some cases, I feel like I have a pneumonia. Why? Because my body wants to get rid of it immediately. I get phlegmed up, I get rid of the phlegm, I breathe easy again immediately. So why do I have flu-like symptoms every time I go to eat in a restaurant? I'm not allergic. I'm allergic to Roundup and their surfactants, the waxes that they spray over top. So this is what's going on. People, if somebody wants to get rich, go develop a Roundup test. And I want to see people try to grab some of the, and try to measure if it's Roundup. I don't know if what they're measuring something excreted, whether it's going to be affected directly by Roundup or not for that test. I'm not sure, but I'm going to be doing a test on my own. Because I've got my hands on. I got my hands on one of those instant result readings. So I'm going to be testing it on Roundup. I don't know if that's going to be the answer, but top cell scientists in the world, they're telling you, I'm repeating myself, it's cells excreting. Why is it that I've done so many more charts and people that are doing, one lady from Massachusetts, she went through a lung cleanse and I could find it in her chart. Why? Why is it in her chart? Because it's vibrating you. The energies are so beautifully high right now, coming from the heavens, the sky, the universe, whatever you want to call it. They're cleansing your cells. If you have weak lungs to begin with, or weak body because you're so full of chemicals, then it's going to be a lot. It won't be as easy for you. But the thing is, cleanse now. I've made posts. Go grab the pine cones that are coming right now that are full of sap. Drop some in some boiling water and start breathing it. Why do you want to wait for Mother Nature to cleanse you all at once? Go start cleansing yourself. The organic movement is not there for nothing. Now, there's people that are not being honest, but the whole point is everything's got poison in it. The animals won't eat the crops. A friend of mine bought a bag of corn. He had to yell and scream at the guy because to buy a bag of corn at the co-op in Canada, he wanted a license. And he screamed at the guy till they gave him the bag of corn because he needed a license to buy a bag of corn. Can you imagine? He gave him the bag of corn. He put it out because he wanted to feed the deer because he would like seeing the deer back there. The deer wouldn't eat it. They're not stupid. That's why all the animals are coming into the cities, because they can't even find anything to eat. No birds, no butterflies, no bees.
I thought the animals were coming in because, you know, when we step out of it and we stay in our houses, the animals come back. I thought that's why they were coming back a bit, because the people had started to stay in their houses, and you know, the more rural places, the animals are coming back in. But you know
They're
that
hungry.
David,
They're hungry.
you know that David's into what you are with the common laws, don't you, David?
Yeah, no, we've been, yes, we've been discussing. Yep. Yep. So
is it frustrating when you know all that and the rest of us are just a bunch of
no,
idiots?
it's absolutely the reverse. I know truth, and I know times are changing because we have spirit behind us. That's a whole other discussion, right? As above, so below. There's huge karmic energies coming right now, and no one is exempt. No one. You can't. You can't wrap yourself in tinfoil. It's impossible. The ether is from within and from without. You can't hide. You can't run. You can't hide, and you got to be good, because that's what's happening right now. This is the flavor. We're seeing signs like crazy, and I'm watching other people who are jumping in because the water's warm. The signs they're getting they're just so invigorating. They're so invigorating, the signs that they're getting. And they understand there is a mass awakening happening. I mean, we all know that, but on a different level too, a mass spiritual awakening. So we need to stick together, go after one common ground, which has already been laid out for us by our foremothers and forefathers. All the other documents after that have been created to deter you from reading those documents. There's so much in the bottom of these documents, you don't even really need to pay attention. You only really need to read about 10, 20 pages and you're done. Then you got to ask questions, because they play a shell game in there, but it's way less, but it's really obvious that you have rights both as a associated person and a human. Is that it? It's cut and dry that way. Our foremothers and forefathers set the path. That vibration is there, and they're scared shitless because they're going to lose all their money, but they have no choice. No choice. Because the Madonna is back in everybody's head. You heard me talk about that before. I made several videos on it. The Madonna is back in everybody's head. The beauty part is, this is the story of Santa Claus. She just rose with the sun on the eastern point in Aries. Like, come on, this doesn't happen, and everybody's missing it. They're missing what's happening in the sky, so now when they start waking up, they're getting confused. So Eris is coming into our heads, I believe 4 times. I haven't put all the dates down yet. I am going to do that. But she comes in and out of our head.
You're talking about astrology here, aren't you? Just so that people do know. I know that you're really into it, but we're talking about astrology now.
So the luminary called Eris, which is the story of Persephone, Isis, Mayat, Freya, Mictecawatl, White Buffalo Calf Woman. She comes around every 500 years. She goes 4 times through an age. So now she's coming into our heads for Age of Aquarius while we're being baptized, right? Aquarius is baptismal. This is a flood. This is a flood of the brain, of the third eye. That's what's happening right now. That's why all these people are seeing numbers and visions and epiphanies and all sorts of things. It's beautiful. It's really, so when you say it's frustrating, it's absolutely, it's the opposite. I'm invigorated because we win now. We've won. We've already won. What's slowing us down is us not getting along like we're supposed to, because Mama's home. She's going to come in. Every time she comes back and she goes retrograde, right? Back into Pisces, your feet, lower chakra, back into our head.
They don't want us getting on, do they? Which is what all the self-isolation's about, because it doesn't matter whether it's you doing it or me doing it. It affects everybody.
It was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen. This is angelic driven. This isolation is so we can sit around and reflect. A lot of people are getting images of their past when they're a child. Yes, You got to fix all the things. If something's coming up, you got to go back in time, do it the right way in your mind, and then release it. That's what's expected of us. But hear me out. The story of Santa Claus is upon us. She's coming into our head to see if we've been naughty or nice. She's given us 4 chances, and then she stays in our head. So you're going to see some major cleanses happening. It's to wake people up. These cleanses are to wake you up to start looking to the stars and looking within and understand spirit. This is the end. Mama's come home. She went on a vacation. She came home, and now she's looking around the house, seeing who did what. So you need to be good. You need to wake up. You need to spend together. You need to bring people together. And the best thing to do is only spread positive things and things that are constructively bringing us to forward. And the international covenants and our fundamental human rights and freedoms, the supreme law, the rule of law, the color of law, is where we all need to start and grab, because that's where we left off in the 60s. That's why there was that huge movement, the peace freedom movement, because people knew those documents got signed. They were celebrating in the streets. But the tyrants had another plan. That's why they started up all kinds of TV, news, media. They made all kinds of laws to broadcast to us a bunch of crap. So now, that was just a little spark. Now the flame is burning, and that's us. And we got to go back to those documents and carry on where our foremothers and forefathers left off. It's in there. And it trumps every one of them, every single one. And they know they can't go against it because it causes great karma. Right now, we chose to let them manage us. So right now, they're managing us. They're not breaching any laws, but they are, because they were supposed to train us about it. So, oh, excuse me, we didn't do a good job training you guys where your real rights are. So in reality, yes, they're going to go against crimes against humanity, and they're going to get taken care of. Whether Mama, the universe, plucks them or not, or what they're going to do with them, I don't know. They can't run and hide either. Everybody's saying, oh, you can go on islands and everything else. Well, you know what? Mother Nature has insects, has animals, has birds. No one can escape karma. No one. Not to mention the cleanses that she can bring upon you.
Heart attacks, car accidents.
So everybody needs to be strong, be brave. If you're not that type of person that needs to go into it, just understand that it's there. Know that our people are working diligently in the background to bring forward these rights, these common law rights. If you have it in you, please ask questions, go read it, go watch John Spirit if you want, or call me and I'll step you through it. I don't charge a penny ever, and I'll teach you what is in there, because that's the reality. All the other documents are to drag you through the mud, to drag you through their system, their HR laws, okay? Remember, you're an employee of your corporation until you tell them you quit. And when you quit, they still owe you all sorts of things, let alone you can sue them for all kinds of things. I don't want to walk down that road. I just want to get things back to normal, make the food real again, and just go on with life. And that's just around the corner. It really, really is. But the sooner we come together, the faster it will come. It'll come with us or without us. It's just written that way. We're done with our experience of seeing
So
what
what do we
man
do?
can do.
We have to turn our backs on them all and stuff.
The politicians, the profit mongers.
Yeah.
Just don't listen to them. Don't go march in front of their building. That's giving them power. Just learn your rights. And every police officer, every person you see, I called up the customs, like I was saying earlier, to find out how long before I can come over. They said, yeah, it's still December. It's still June 21st. The brother I was speaking to, you could tell he was he was a good-natured person. You could hear it in his voice. I said, hey, brother, did anybody tell you that they can just come across because they still hold their common law rights? And he goes, I don't know what that means. I goes, I don't blame you, because they don't teach us stuff in school, but we have rights that are common law rights. They're international covenants. And I blurted off what they were. And so he was engaging, but he's treading water at the same time. It's his job, and at the same time curious. I said, do me a favor. Just go look up Article 26 in the Charter. So we're talking to him. He goes, what article was that? 29? I said, no, 26. So I know he's going to go look. I says, in that article is where they hide the fact that there are other rights. Because in reality, I could come across and tell you I got my common law rights because I've already sent in everything to the Governor General that I've disassociated with Canada. What do you mean disassociated? And I explained it to him. This is what we need to do because our brothers and sisters are getting paid jobs without knowing because they don't teach them this. Why would they? They'd be shooting themselves in the foot and all their pixels would be gone. So this is what we need to do. Talk to people, share with them. Whether they want to hear it or not, sometimes they got to be told. Let them get mad. They'd rather, as soon as they hear it for the first time, they need the first time because if they're going to hear it from somebody else, you want it to be the second time, not the first. And let the first come from you. This is what we need to do. And we need to do it now. Now is the time. This is what they're hiding. This is what they're hiding. They know we have rights. They know we can kick them out. We can stop them from being a management company. They'll be done. We take back the land. Not take it back. We kick them off our land. We have the land. The land's ours. The land's everybody's. There should be no borders. Borders are for sheep. Those are borders for corporations so they know who gets to have the money.
Right.
That's all it is. And viruses don't cross borders. So people got to wake up to that. Paranoia and fear makes you want to bow down to somebody that helps you control your life because you think they got your back. But the spirit's got your back.
We don't need to be controlled by these people anyway, do we? We don't need all these rules and regs. We don't actually need them. We don't need them to control us. That's all they're there. Right. Government.
Right. I am very blessed to have been able to study people like Ken Wheeler, Santos Bonacci, all of them to get a ground for where I'm going. But I have to say this, Ken Wheeler and his metaphysics, and when you see how it exactly matches physics and everything you see and do in life, you know 100% you are infinite. You are infinite. We are good. Let's be one. We are infinite beings here for an experience, and we're coming around the corner into Aquarius now. All this is all gone, and we all get to go on a new journey, a new path. You're infinite. If you don't get it right, you come back and try again. But this time when you come back, you're in a better environment because we're going on the upswing now. We're out of the dark ages, the age of Pisces.
Do you think we're making some of this happen anyway? Where we are now, we're making it happen.
Yes, you're prolonging it by thinking thoughts that aren't correct. Because there's no such thing as time. But the sooner we manifest all in the same direction, the faster it gets fixed. That's the law of attraction. That's coherency of a magnet. When we all stick together, we would literally stick together. So yes, we are. So but the thing is that we're on the same path going to the point in the middle. It's a labyrinth, a circular labyrinth. And we can go off the beaten path, but we'll come back, like the snakes and ladders game. We'll come back and then continue on with that path towards the middle. It's the way it works. It has to be that way.
Everything you say, and I'm with you 100%, but most people don't care. They don't care.
They will care. They will care, though. Here's what's happening.
To understand it.
Hence why the cleanses are here. When you're cleansing and you feel like things are coming to a passing, you start looking at things differently. And this whole quarantine, this whole 40 days of fasting that we just went through, is supposed to be for that purpose. We're supposed to go within.
It's more than 40 days now, isn't it? I mean, it's what, March, 1st of March till the end of July.
Right. Right. But is it 40 days? Is it 40 years? I don't know. The whole point is Easter just happened with Eris and the sun. The true Easter, the biblical marking that everybody celebrates forever, just happened. The reason why they were celebrating it is because it was coming and it just came. and it's here, and it's upon us. And Mama's going to give you, in the next 3 years, you get a couple more chances to wake up. Start looking for your cleanses so you know when they're coming. When they know that you're paying attention, the cleanses aren't as tough because they're going to put you in front of people that are going to help you cleanse. Start paying attention now, and you know what to go do, what plants to take so that you can start your cleanse before it happens to you. I've done enough to be so confident that medical astrology 100% works, and it's beautiful. And then when you sit there and reflect on it, going, wait a minute, if these are all pre-planned cleanses for me, then that means there's a master plan for me. Oh, what a concept. It's invigorating. It's invigorating to know that we're on a leash, so to speak. We can only go so far. That's why we're not random and you can't blow up the earth and all these other things that people are saying. No, Spirit won't let that happen. That's not supposed to be a part of this. This is the flood. It's a flood of your third eye. That's what's happening right now. Everybody keeps talking about the great flood, the great flood. This is the great flood. She's just trickling right now. So yeah, you're going to see a lot more energies. You're going to see a lot more people with cleanses, but they're going to be selected cleanses based on your natal chart. So instead of worrying every day about what might happen, just go look at your chart, start learning it, see if it's going to happen to you. The best thing to do is don't even worry about it. Go live your day. And then if you feel something coming on, go look at your chart, know what it is, and know what plant to take to help alleviate it. That's what they used to do. Because you're not going to sit there and read your chart like some people do. Go, oh, in 5 minutes from now, I think I'm going to get somebody to yell at me or something. No, like that's not what it's for. It's not what it's for. It's there so you gain an understanding of metaphysics. The spirit's who we are, the reflection of the absolute of who we are. Ken's very brilliant. He's got a rough cover around him, and he's tough to listen to. But man, there's a reason for him. To me, he's like he's like the one most important person on this planet right now is Ken Wheeler. People don't see it. They don't see it. Because if they're waiting for some guy in a robe float out of the sky, you ain't gonna find them because it's in everyone. You gotta get a piece of your love from everyone.
And magnets. But when I started this hangout today, I said, what are we going to talk about? Thank you very much, Claudio.
Well, you said to me the other day we could talk about life. So that's what we're doing, talking about life.
A lesson from Claudio.
No, this is from a lesson from Spirit. Because I get everything from Spirit. Yeah, there's no pedestals in life. Nobody belongs on its pedestal. We're all one. We share the same yin. I know you've heard me say this before. We share the same spirit. We're one. We're a reflection of one. We've each been given choice to learn what happens when you have choice, and when you have choice to allow others and have false idols, namely politicians, money, false idols being one certain person. I don't idolize Ken. I respect him and love him for what he knows. He's one of many people that I've learned from. But right now, that guy's got a lot of information that everybody needs. So if this hasn't grabbed you as a spiritual experience right now, you got to think hard.
Claudia, when you think about it, it's actually very cruel to do this to the people, isn't it? With the self-contamination and all that kind of stuff. It's cruel, isn't it?
It's as above, so below. It absolutely is a lesson on what can happen if somebody wasn't in control, but Spirit is. So whatever happens in real life happens up in the stars. They're one and one mirrored. The only difference is we do have some people that have take our brothers and sisters, they're your brothers and sisters, as much as it's really hard to love them and send them love. You have to, because they have the same yin as we do. But that doesn't mean we're going to allow them to do what they're doing. No, it's called, we're going to wake everybody up, which is happening. It's inevitable. I'm just trying to be a parrot of the word, of the things that I'm learning. on what's a reality in our lives. So once you grasp it and you jump in, you're like, you don't have to go to church. You don't have to read the Bible. The Bible, I've done enough research after watching Santos and then going to look for myself that the Bible is an astrology book. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. No ifs, ands, or buts. And the dendra, I'll be making videos on that. You got to see how beautiful the story is around the dendra. And it paints your whole life. And the circle of 60 numbers wraps around there. And so does the dendra line up. I can show you some stuff on another time or whatever, Karen, but I took Ptolemy's stars, placed them on the dendra. They didn't look like they lined up because Orion on the dendra and the 3 stars were off. Well, it's off by 12.4 degrees. That means from Ptolemy's time, there was a 12.4 degree precession already. So that means you can use that to date your clock to when the start was. When I rotated it by 12.4, Sirius lines up with the galactic center. And there's a marker for that on the dendra. And then Orion's belt lines up with Orion. And then you look at his feet and lines up with the 369. And the 369 is 3 days away after, I just learned from the rule of Colel. I guess there's all kinds of things that pushed the truth of what things really are with the dendra and astrology and the clocks and the changing the calendars and all that stuff. As you can see, that Osiris died on the winter solstice. I'll be giving credits. I can't remember the gentleman's name that did it. I just became Facebook friends with him. It escapes me right now. I apologize. But yes, it dies. Osiris dies on the winter solstice, which is on the bottom of those numbers, the 3033. And then 3 days later, it's on the 369. And on the dendra, there's a box with a snake on it, the vibration. This is where you're starting to get your vibration to come back again. In that quarter of the zodiac, those 3 there's something special that happens in there. And you can see the prisoner ready to go and start his life on the symbol of the one that's sitting there, the one of the decans. There's 36 decans there, go figure. That person right there has no head. That's the body waiting for the soul. So it's all there. The whole walk of our life is there.
What I find crazy, Claudio, is that they've poo-pooed astrology, and
Yes.
through people like you, we realise that they use astrology profoundly for the numbers, while they're telling you it's a load of rubbish.
100%. JP Morgan's famous quote is, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. All right. So they forgot one important feature during this pandemic. Number one, they forgot to add Eris, the Madonna, because then they would have known it was a crown chakra cleanse, not a body cleanse. Because when you go look at the 13,
Is that what the corona's about, though? Is that why it's called corona?
it's right. Yeah, it's crown chakra.
Oh, I see. So what you're basically saying is this whole cleanse, it's not just a body cleanse, but that's what it is. They want to cleanse your mind and make you into robots.
No, sister. No, this is the cleanse from spirit. This is to wake us up now.
Oh, yeah, no. What it is what they've put into place is to try and control you, abuse you.
Well, no, what they do is they always share the truth with a twist. They don't lie. They know karma comes to liars, so they always tell the truth. All they got to do is say coronavirus,
Really?
and then hang on a second. Listen to me. All they got to do is say coronavirus, and all the mass populace will go crazy, and we do it to ourselves. Everything else we do to ourselves.
The people who are doing it to us don't have souls.
Oh, they have souls. They have souls.
No, but not good ones. Not good ones.
No, their yin is exact same as ours. Theirs is just their yang is much on fire, which is about to get extinguished.
Well, I can't wait for them to get their karma.
We only want them to have but we can only wish them love. And then we'll let I know it's not my or your job to do it, but something will become of these people. They will either quit, die, retire, confess, run, because they won't be staying where they're staying. It's a physical impossibility.
You have explained something to me, because at Christmas, the garage up the road closed up and a new garage took over. The whole shop cleared its stuff out and we had to wait for it all to change over. Now, I know it does look a little bit different right now, but the way they shut all the businesses up, it's the same kind of thing. It's like we're being taken over with something new.
Again, everybody still wants profit. I got family, friends, neighbors.
Some of them would have made even more profit because of this. Tesco's and all the ones that stayed open, Amazon, eBay, all the places that stayed open, were allowed to stay open, will make masses of profit because nothing else is open. You can't buy clothes, book a holiday,
Right.
buy a buggy, buy
So
clothes.
we only see the stories that aren't good. I can share your stories where a mid-30-year-old gentleman who is sharing his cannabis crops now because he's awake. He's giving it away for free. He's helping people. He just saw a homeless man and he stopped and asked him to get in the car. Asked him for his story. Just got out of jail because he spent 23 years in jail for cannabis. Somebody set him up to go try to smuggle some things, and they ended up spending 23 years in jail for a plant that his rights would have been able to fix. So he put him up in a hotel for a week. He's giving him a job to help trim. Those are the good stories. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Kathy and I just went grocery shopping. We thought a guy on the side of the road looked like he was in need. So we stopped the car to see what he wanted. He says, I just need a ride. I'm heading to Daytona. I says, well, brother, we're only going up like 5 miles. That's, hey, 5 mile time's good with me, he said. Those are the things we used to do. We used to be loving. We got to get back there.
I mean,
quickly.
in a sense, we want it to go on and be better for everybody in the world, that everybody has a better life, better rights, the whole thing. But in a sense, everybody wants it to go back to the way it was, in a sense. Do you think we're going, because you've got some states which are going, we're never going back, and you've got other states which are saying, I'm not adhering to the laws or what the new thing that they're doing. What do you reckon is going to happen? You reckon that we'll soon come out of this, or do you think there'll be part 2?
Well, to me, it's all going to be resolved in 3 years when Eris stays in her head. We can't forget why we are here. We are here for an experience. And we've been around the block. We've been coming in and out, reincarnating, infinite reincarnations. We are infinite to get this lesson. And now here we are. And then we look back and say, oof, yeah, okay, I guess what we're allowed to do is it's not good if we don't have light. If we don't have spirit inside of us, we can see what happens. And that's what this whole thing's about. So.
But some of us are on different frequencies, aren't they? Because some of us have woken up and the rest haven't, and just follow the guidelines of a government which is governing your mind.
Right. So now the luminaries are in, the cycle is in Age of Aquarius. This is where we get baptized. Your crown chakra will be lit up whether you like it or not. Mama's coming in and out, checking in, backing off, letting you go within, coming back, checking again. And if you don't get it right, then to me, pluck. You're going to come back and try again, which is okay because you're infinite. Nobody can resist this cleanse that's coming. Some people are saying this cleanse of the top chakra will align all your other chakras and instantly heal you. To me, kind of makes sense. It's possible, 100%. But the whole thing, it doesn't matter anymore. Be loving and just stand up for your rights because we're infinite. We're the ones doing it to each other. All those people got to do is just say a word and everybody runs sideways.
They put the little words out and the little programs out, and then all the people run around like mad in front of them.
Right. you're allowing other people, when you watch TV or whatever you're watching, you're allowing other people to manifest for you. You get what you imagine. The I am is in imagine. I am. Each letter is a word. We can get into that whole thing. I'm not going to do that. So you become
Well,
what
I
you
don't adhere to it, but most of my family do. So how does that work when you don't? A lot of people on my channel don't. You don't. A lot of my friends don't. But when I turn around to my family, people I love, they all believe the rubbish.
Of course they do. Of course they do. But they will awaken too. They will 100% awaken. It's okay. The thing is this, their yin is there. So when you talk to them, always talk to the soul, not to them. And say it in such a way that you can continue a conversation with them without pissing them off, because you want to go to say, the world's flat. That's it, you're done. But meanwhile, you say, you know what? I believe the earth is a sphere. Oh, okay, sphere. I'll accept that. You didn't tell them whether you live on the inside or the outside, because saying the world's flat, I've said this before, is an absolute misnomer. Because people misinterpret that. What do you mean? You're going to fall off the edge? No, you're living inside a sphere, not on the outside of it. We're in manifest. We're in a vibration. We are light energies. So when you talk to people, you just got to say the words, because their soul's listening. And when they go to sleep at night, it's vibrated them. They need to hear it. I'm just trying to get better and better at how I present it to people. We've had so many experiences with people who are looking for help, friends, neighbors, whatever, that all of a sudden these spiritual moments that they cannot deny happen in front of their eyes. That's it. They're hooked. They're hooked. What's that?
People like you and me are much more spiritual, and you're probably an empath like me. We're different kind of people to a lot of the people out there.
And that's a good thing. Because whether they know it or not, we're going to vibrate their yin.
That's why we've probably been sent, for that reason, the empaths.
Yeah.
And it's tougher for an empath, because you can always see everybody else's feelings, but they never see yours.
They will, though. They will. Nobody's exempt.
Thank you so much for that information. Let's just hope that resonates with everybody, and everybody starts looking up the common law.
Ask questions anytime.
Once we realise we don't need them, whoa, it'd be brilliant.
We just look at. We run the world now. We build the houses, we grow the food, we do it all. All we need to do now is just, there is way too much food, because, like I said before, all that food, which is poison, is ending up on shelves, and they'll never go bad because it has Roundup in it. So they can stay on the shelf forever because it's got Roundup in it. It's a preservative too. Sure, it's a poison. Nothing's gonna eat it. So if you only get 50% of the yield, who cares? So we don't need all of the rest. Was all just used for money and to fill shelves for fake inventory to raise stock prices. So we run the world. We're the labor. If you get everybody to do what they love to do 24/7, it's not work. So yes, we will be taking this land back. Not taking it back. I don't even like using that. This is our land. This is our land. This is our land, and we will be kicking you off it.
Power to the people, Claudio. Power to the people.
Right. Now, to the original Indians, I say this: I love you. I admire you. You're our brothers and sisters, but know that we're all Indians. We are all Indians. We're all natives to this earth. That's another way of removing your rights. I'm hoping to meet with tribal members to teach them about the common law, because I'm sure that over time, a lot of chiefs got bought out. Give them casinos, give them prostitutes, give them all the things that makes you sin. Sell their soul. Can't sell your soul. not for sale. But the whole point is that, yes,
Also,
it's
Claudio,
ours.
you know what?
It's already ours. It's already ours. We just got a few people that we need to settle down.
Can I say something? Everything you said is correct. I appreciate it. I love you, Claudio. Thank you so much for saying that. The only way you get here is if you know who you are as a person and start going out. A lot of people are going in. Even as a narcissist, they're going in. You need to go out. You need to share love and everything. That's the bit that's missing, isn't it?
Yes, but you got to respect that.
You need to know who you are as a person. If you don't know who you are, everything Claudio's saying will just go in one ear and out the other.
Right, but where do you find out who you are?
In yourself.
Where? Is there any guides anywhere?
Well, most people haven't sorted their lives out, and their life comes with them from childhood, and that's the bit they need to sort out and make peace with. It makes you grow up as a person.
You have a stamp.
It makes you think differently once you know who you are.
You have a stamp, and it's called a DNA, and it's your natal chart. It tells you exactly when you're going to be inward.
Hey, Claudio, do you want to hear my poem that I wrote in my 20s?
Sure.
It says, why be afraid of your emotional dealings? Too scared to challenge the thought of true feelings. Confused, abused, done out of losing. You've trapped it inside, abandoned or bruising. You trapped it inside to make it lie there from child grown to adult, unable to share. But you see, your eyes are the windows into your soul, and you're stuck behind them, a facade in a bowl. Your eyes say one thing, your mouth says another, and you're too afraid to put both of them together, one with the other. But you see, you're the rock. You're forever changing. You have no sides, no bars. You're always molding and recreating. But you're the pun locked deep down inside by fears of past life that nobody knows. So you set your life out in nice little rows, forgetting the reaction of how we react when unspeakingly spoken. Humans attracts. Not prepared to jump in the emotional sea tide or the roller coaster ride. But how much are you willing to let go, to share with another, to let a seed grow?
That's beautiful. I like the ending.
I was in my 20s when I wrote that. It was at the end of one of my marriages. It was just like, he wrote to me, this husband, saying, we've built the walls and made them high, and it became part of this poem. But I sat there one night. It was just as if someone was standing right behind me and they wrote the poem. This poem actually takes a whole side of an A4 page up. I just wrote it. It took me 45 minutes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. You see what I mean? So you've got to know who you are as a person, because if you don't, you set your life out in nice little rows, and you don't care when you rap with people.
And what I'm trying to say is your natal chart tells you who you are. It'll tell you when you're going inward. When you don't know why you're feeling the way you're feeling, it's in your chart.
What happens if other people force it? We had a little bit of a chat before we came on. What happens if other people force you to be like that? You're always looking in because everybody around you is doing all these really weird things. What do we have to do? Move away?
I guess that's something that you have to really think about, because there's a lot of factors that can cause that.
I'm telling a man that moved all over the place. You go here, you go there, you go everywhere, and you're not even in your native country. But is that what we have to do?
I'm on my native land. What are you talking about? No matter where I'm in the world, I'm home.
Oh yeah, sorry, you're always a native. But you know what I mean? You were born in Canada then, yeah?
Yeah, I know, but that's where our brain's at. Our brain wants to go back to that we have a place that's ours because they're trying to limit your rights. So that's why one of the first steps to get out is to remove that thought process from your head that you belong somewhere and to someone.
In a sense, though, the only place you've got to live is inside your body. And if you're not at peace in your body, nothing else will work. You've got to be at peace with yourself.
Exactly. Home is where your ass sits.
Yeah,
I mean, look at you have to go inward, and the best thing to do is follow Eris. And then Juno just went direct. So you're going to see a lot of female energies on fire. I'm already seeing it. Like there's people, like a lady went in front of the the Italian government, man, she freaking let loose. She was saying things in there that were all the stuff we say about truth. She had people smiling, snickering in the background, like she's lost her mind. She had people seriously looking, and then she had people not even paying attention. So she had a mix. That's good. They weren't all ridiculing. A major portion of them.
Planting that
And
seed, Claudio.
somebody tried to cut her off of the time, and the president screamed, saying, "Let her talk." And everybody started clapping. So every president, every corporation, every CEO everywhere around the world is being tested right now.
Is that why so many of them were fired? Because don't forget, they've either resigned or were fired or whatever.
And a lot of them are resigning because they've done not good things. And they're trying to go home with all their pixels, their fairy dust.
Abusing their authority. Abusing
Yes.
their authority.
They're going to have all the pixels on their screen they want soon. Because they're going to be coming up to say, "Can I have one of those organic apples? My kid's sick."
I saw, I forget what he's called now. He's called Doctor something. It was probably in the 70s, but Russian vids brings him up a lot. 70s, 80s. He was going, "I can't get my wife or my children to have the vaccination, but I want you to have it." Is that what it's like?
You know, the thing is that when who knows what are in those vaccines? Again, the only thing they really care about is they've already produced the vaccines. They've told their shareholders they got the vaccines. They will ship them everywhere and don't care what happens after that. Nobody cares if you take it or not. It's just money. It's just like Chrysler. It's just like the Mars bar. They want them on the shelves so they can book the profit and make their stock go up. They're sick, demented profit mongers, and that's all they care about is more pixels. So the forcing comes from our own brothers and sisters. Hence why I've made those posts on Facebook showing you where in the international covenants tells you that you have reason of conscience. First of all, what are you doing in a doctor's office asking him?
Can I ask you something? When we finish this hangout, would you put a comment in it when it goes live, if you make it or don't make it, but whenever you see it, would you put a link to your channel in there? And if anybody wants to talk to you, then they can get you that way, Claudio?
Anytime. I don't have no aliases. I mean, I have Udemy because that means help me. And udemy.com, Facebook, Claudio Silvaggi. My email is claudio.silvaggi@gmail.com. I'm reachable anywhere. And we'll always be safe. Be good. You'll be safe. Mama's got your back. This is where she's expecting everybody to, okay, I want you to start squealing on your brothers and sisters of what they did when I was gone. Don't protect them. Do not protect them. This is what's upon us. It sounds so juvenile, but it's so true. The story of Santa Claus was real. It's Santa. Santa means saint. You know how that came to me? It's a mini premonition sitting in church for, it was a friend's dad's funeral. And my daughter was down with their son and daughter. And she looks at me and she points to the Italian church. She goes, "Oh, look, Santa." I look in a stained glass window and I said to her, "Oh, that's Santa. That means saint." And it just clicked on me. That was her spirit that told me that. Look at Santa is saint. I always knew that, but it didn't click. That's the story of Santa Claus. And Claus is Claustrum. Santa Claustrum. Santa Claustrum is here, and that's Eris, that's Persephone, that's Madonna. That's that story. So everybody's going to be cleansed whether you like it or not. Whether you remember this conversation or not doesn't really matter to me because I know you're going to be, and we're all going to meet towards the middle. It has to be. Can't be any other way, and it's beautiful. It's invigorating. So yeah, let's get the law out there. I'm reachable.
I find it really crazy, Claudio, that the people imprison themselves overnight without a police officer, army, nothing. They just all surrendered. I mean, I don't know about you. I know you go out a lot, but a lot of people who've woken up or make videos, we stay in our homes more anyway. So the lockdown doesn't quite mean the same for us, but it is getting a bit tedious now. You know, you go out and the people in the shops, you know, the ones that are running it, you saw something wrong with your till, they go, get back, as if you're some virus entity. I mean, it is getting a little bit much now. I'm getting very fed up. I'm getting a bit restless when I go to the shops now because I can't stand it.
Yeah, I know. My wife's the same way. She, just seeing everybody. It's hard to see everybody in such a
But they want that, don't they? That's
non-brave. Yeah,
well,
they're
one
not
thing
brave
that
at
hasn't
all.
happened, I really thought that they'd start bringing in rioting and all that. And what it is they'll have made it all for the
No,
television. So none of
I
it
don't
will be
even.
real. But they'll
I don't
show
think
you
I.
that the army have
I
gone
won't.
in there and this has gone in there. None of it will be real, but it's all these stories to incite.
I
We've all
don't
been quite
watch the.
peaceful.
Do yourself a favor, and anybody that's listening, don't watch that stuff because somebody's doing your manifestation for you. Live the beautiful life that's coming because it's coming regardless. You're slowing down the process when you put images like that in your head. You really are. You don't need to know if it's true or not because it's not. It's not part of who you are or why you're here. So only look at good, positive things and where we're going to keep coming together. Talking about the rights and the laws is a positive thing because that's what's going to bring us together. When we know that we have the rights and they're all there, it's over. It's already over. They're just trying to slow it down. They know it's over. They just say a word. Virus.
I can't wait for them to go. The whole lot. Every government, all the corporations, they all need to go.
Start doing more and more videos on common law rights, Karen.
Well, I'm going to call this hangout. I wrote it down. What is it? We don't know our common law rights. That's what I was going to call it. This hangout.
And the word common, it's got the word
Why
moon
did
in
they
it.
give it to us, though, Claudio? Why would they give us the common law but never abide by it and try and bring something else in? Why give us the common law?
You got to stop with the they thing. No. We stopped tyranny from ever happening again and made every country, which is a corporation, which is supposed to be a management company, we made them sign these documents so that you cannot enslave people, you cannot force people what to do. Some people want to be managed, other ones don't. Some don't care if you have a rooster next door, some people do. So they want to have bylaws. That's why they started communities and societies. But then somebody knew that they could make money off of it. All right? So the whole design of communities became one for taxes. The whole design of communities became, where's the food? We should be building permaculture communities where the food's around you. We got to build roads to go get the food. And then they're so far later, we got to freeze them, pick them early. And then they rot, so we got to put chemicals on them. No. Let's have the abundance right at our feet. Why is it in Florida? I'm looking out here and there's not a fruit tree. They grow naturally here. Why isn't there fruit trees everywhere? Well, we don't want to clean up the... What? Oh, so you want us to go buy poisonous freaking oranges and shit? You don't want to clean up? You want to get too many bees? Like, what? You with me? So think positive. Start imagining these communities that we're living one with nature. And it doesn't have to be that you're living next to an apple tree. No, I'm not saying that. But there's ways of designing them. I've already started the design portions of what communities should look like where we can cohabitat with nature.
Oh, Claudio.
And live next to nothing. 100%. It's easy. It's simple. What we live in right now is retarded. How many people have tried to build something near their fence? And the bylaw says, no, you can't. You got to stay within 3 feet, 6 feet, 10 feet, whatever it is. But yet, we're sitting in a condo right now where the walls are a common wall right on the property line. Where's the setback law? Well, no, because now they're maximizing tax per square foot. So this is all just greed. So this greed leads us to where we can't live together. And next thing you know, everybody's for themselves because you can't even make ends meet. Where the other way, where we're living in communities where You have restaurants, everything, all the food is organic and free. Like, come on. You don't need profit. You don't need profit. And if everybody, and this is happening everywhere, nobody needs to be rich. You have everything. You got all you want to eat. You got all your friends. Everybody's happy, and you got all the abundance in the whole world. What do you need? What do you need more than that? So getting back to the images, let the images come into your mind that are beautiful and get us to the next place. Your life will be better. You'll feel better. Don't let that non-positive vibe into your head. You're going to get enough of those from your cleanses from past experiences, like I mentioned earlier, and how you get rid of them or how you set them free. Other than that, yeah, live a happy life. That's what this quarantine was supposed to be about. So you can think this way, so you can open your eyes and say, yeah, I think things are going to be different now. Because our brothers and sisters that decided that they weren't going to help us manage this whole environment, they didn't do a good job at all. Actually, they failed miserably. Miserably, they failed. Because I got to build roads will get my poisonous food. They failed. So that's what I spend my time on, pretty much every waking moment, on being able to communicate the where we need to get to. Because we're going there. I know we're going there. It can't be any other way. It's written in the stars, as above, so below. It's there.
Claudia, do you think the stars are getting lower in the sky?
Well, lower is really a, how can I say this? They're getting brighter, they're getting lower. I mean, it's the incommensurate. It's the incommensurate. Yeah, I mean,
more you
it's
realise they're
if
not thousands and millions of miles away. They just are closer. I don't know, but they just look like someone just, you look at the stars sometimes and you think, they're so low.
yeah,
Like the clouds are really low.
yeah, I totally get it. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen Hangman 1128. Go watch his one video. I know he's got a whole bunch of them, but he's got one that was there's just two songs, and if you look at it, there's just a log with a big knot sticking out the side of it. I'll try to share a link in there, and just go see. The mountains are trees. The mountains are trees. They're petrified trees, big trees. That's why they always measured things in an arm length, because there is no such thing as a dimension. It's all relative. It's incommensurate. It's Plato's divided line. I'd love to know
more of our truth, of our past. I'd love to know what Tartaria was and what it all meant when you've got the same kind of buildings in America. You've got them in Australia. You've got them here. You've got them all over Europe. I'd love to have known what Tartaria was. I don't even think it's that long ago. But Claudio, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes.
That's perfect. Yep.
What about to end this hangout? What's your final thoughts?
No, just everybody keep positive. We've already won. And when I say won, both ones, WN and ONE, it's over. Just let's move forward and wake up the brothers and sisters with truth. And the perfect one to bring us together is international covenants that have already been signed to stop these tyrants from continuing on in their profit-mongering scheme, when you should only be ever working 5 years in your life and then everything else is just abundance. It is possible. It is doable. People are doing it out there. You'll never hear it. And everybody be positive and let's just move forward in a good way.
Thank you so much for that, Claudio. Very much appreciated everything you say. As I say, we started off the hangout. I said, what are we going to talk about today? So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the lesson, Claudio.
Oh, thank you. And thank everybody that I ever learned from.
Oh, Claudio is a very, very nice man, and he does everything for free, even healing, the whole lot. So much appreciated for all your information. And I know anybody could do it, Claudio, but it always takes those first ones to do it, and you're one of the new first ones. Well, yeah, I guess I'm not a first, because anyway, yeah, I get what you're saying. I appreciate your compliments. So I'll move forward.
It's all beautiful. I got a smile on my face.
Yeah. Well, I very much appreciate your time. We'll say
Thank
goodbye on the
you.
hangout. We'll say goodbye on the hangout, but I'll say goodbye to you afterwards. But for the hangout, Claudio, thank you so much for all that. I really hope that's resonated with people and people understand common rights, common law rights.
Yes. Thank you so much, Karen. Love you all.
Oh, thank you, Claudio. Anyway, Claudio, mwah, for all your wisdom, and to the chat room. Mwah. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.